This could be my most boring video yet, because we're boring subway tunnels. I'll try and make it exciting. Let's all sit back in Minecraft. So, I'm currently in the east end of the city. This is as far east as you can possibly go, as in this is the edge of the city, this building. And so, we've got the east end subway inside of this brown building right here. And this is a working subway. This is not just for looks, this functions, and it functions quite well as well. There's a link in the description if you want the redstone. It's certainly not me that came up with it. But what I'd quite like to do is spend some time boring tunnels to the west end, because we are now in the city centre, but this is as far as we can go with the subway. There's also this way, which will lead to the harbour as well. We can even have a subway going this side as well. But let me go in the map and let me just explain exactly what I'm thinking. This is going to be a multi-part video, by the way. There's no way we can bore out the tunnels and then make the subway system in this one video. So you can see the city map. We are right here. That's that building right there. This is where the East End subway is. You can see that's quite a distance. That's a couple maps worth. And this big building right here is the central subway station. We've of course got the harbour subway station right there as well. What we want to do is create a humongous tunnel, a very wide tunnel going west, straight across, close to Triamilla Square Cross. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. And in that way we can just branch off when we need to, branch down, branch to the harbour as well. But for now we're just going to make a very wide channel underneath the subway station. And the reason why we need to make a channel underneath the subway station is because we need to build the tunnel bores. So you can see around this kind of area here, we're just going to tunnel that way. Of course I still want to use the subway, so I'm going to keep a little rim around the edge in case I'm needing to run round. Okay, so after a lot of digging we are left with this big hole in the ground. This is going to be these upstairs stations, so let me just explain it with the subway that is already finished and already built. So you can see we go down these stairs, and if you look at the top left you can see we're walking on Y62, the bottom is Y60. And then the actual mechanism for the trains is another 10 blocks below. So that's what we're going to have to do now. We're going to have to dig another 10 blocks deep into the ground, which I'm not looking forward to, but that should be fine. It's all for a good cause, because this will save so much time in the future. Anyway, I'm just going to keep digging and yeah, get on to something more exciting after that. Okay, take a look at how this is getting on. This is some hole that has been dug. This is a lot of blocks that is now in the storage system, of course. We'll definitely be making good use of all this stone. Luckily there was a little bit of a cave here, so it sped up, my digging process. This is a lot of space though, so this is where we're going to be making and assembling the tunnel bore. I think this should be more than enough room, but there's one resource which we really need, which is ancient debris. And so for ancient debris, I don't know how you like to get ancient debris, but we're going to do some mining for that. I'm going to use the bed mining method, and I'm going to show you where I get all my ancient debris, which is basically just underneath that humongous nether city which we made in a past video. But of course we need to get some beds first of all, and that's very simple. We've got the wool farm in the East End Industrial Hub, and I've still not dyed the sheep back to the rainbow colours. Let's take some, it'll start filling up instantly again. You can see I've already got oak planks. Let's get some ancient debris. Here we are, this is the first ancient debris. I'm also going to take this time again to remind that we've got a Discord now. So the link is in the description. I very much recommend joining if you at all watch the channel and you are somewhat invested in the world. Please join it. I'd love to have you there. We've got a good community growing. I'd also love to try and do some more things, get you guys more involved in the world through the Discord. I'm not sure how, maybe like building competitions and I'll add your building into the city. That's the best idea that I've got, but please let me know. So after further ancient debris mining, it was then time to call it a day. Okay, so that's all the resources back over where we're building and mining rather. I've just grabbed all the resources for TNT. That's all the gunpowder that I've got. It's only 51 TNT. I mean, that is not that much. So I'm slightly concerned about that. So yeah, the design for the tunnel bore is by First Dan Josh. It should be fairly straightforward. I've already looked through the tutorial, seems very good. If there's anything wrong with it, it's on me, certainly not on them. Okay, so here we have the completed tunnel bores. Both of them will go, both descends TNT. Let's get TNT inside of them. And I have not tested this, so hopefully it should work. I'll be very upset if it doesn't. This was a very easy tutorial to follow, like I said. Link is in the description. Please go watch it if you think you need a tunnel bore. Let's give it a test. Oh, it's looking promising. There we go. Oh. Oh. Okay. Well, it did go well. There's a slight problem by the looks of it. But yeah, now we're in a position where we can just keep running this, dispensing TNT forward. Hopefully that doesn't break again. I think I need to move this back by 1. Okay, but this is working quite well as well. So you can see it's now going to start doing that one. That lantern's probably going to... Yep. These are some big holes that it's mining. So this will make mining the subway tunnels so much quicker. I mean, this is crazy. Of course, we're limited by how much TNT that we've got in this world. But again, we can make a creeper farm. That should be straightforward, hopefully. But again, let's basically burn through all the TNT that we've got, which isn't much, but let's see how far we get. And so that's what I did. I had lots more tunnel boring, and eventually I ran out of TNT. I am completely out of TNT. This is as far as we got with around 60 TNT, so that's around 32 in each. Maybe I'm slightly off because I restocked it some more. This is how far we got. Not that far, but that's because we don't have much TNT, which I am now planning to change. I might as well take advantage of all this room in the West End, and that's exactly what I've done. You'll understand why I built it here in just a moment. You can see the scaffolding. This is only half complete as well. This is only 3 layers out of 6, and that third layer isn't even finished, but this is working surprisingly well. It's a design by Silent Whisperer. I've not built it in this specified biome. You're meant to build it above the water, like 100 blocks in the air. I didn't, and this is only 10 minutes with 2 layers of the farm. That's pretty good. So I cannot wait to get the entire farm built. That's exactly what I'm doing just now. This is the AFK spot down here. It's a really nice design, and it's so cheap with the resources. You could build this within a few days after starting a world. But yeah, this is what's going to be fueling our tunnel bores. I thought we might as well just build it. It's just a bog standard mob farm. So I'm going to get all sorts of drops, including gunpowder. I'm going to keep building this and hopefully get it all the way up to 6 layers, maybe even more. We might even add more layers. I'm not sure. Take a look at this hideous mob farm. I mean, it works fantastic. I mean, look how many mobs there are in there. And they just keep pouring in. It's amazing. What a good design. Again, it's down in the description. Silent Whisperer, please check it out if you need an easy mob farm to build in your world. It's very straightforward. But whilst this is here, I mean, it is very good for drops, but it needs to stay loaded and stay close by in order for the farm to function. You can see I've just been basically taking the drops out when I need to. I'm also going to spend some time working on the storage system as well, because it's certainly not something that's too secure or robust. I mean, you can see the items are basically just getting shoved in any space that they possibly can. I mean, we've even got a bow in there. We need to really sort something, so let's spend some time. I'm going to spend some time figuring out this. We're going to spend some time sorting this as well. This should be quite good. Okay, so here we have the storage system. It works surprisingly well. I've just done this myself. I've just used these item filters. Very simple. You can see there's a repeater which basically just runs into a redstone torch. And you can see that's just how an item filter works, and it's filtering all the different items you could possibly get, and then anything which isn't getting filtered just goes in this dropper and it gets shot into lava. You can also see that we've made, maybe not in these ones, these are just carrots and potatoes. We've made some decent profits for just being in this area for not terribly long, but I want to spend some more time in this area whilst the farm's running. It's such a good design. You can see there's so many mobs up there. I want to try and work on a building on the outside up here. I've got a design in my head. I've got some cool ideas. I even tried to try them out on a creative world. I've got really quite a unique design for this area, so I'm going to try and make a start for that. Okay, so this is what I've got so far. This is just the ground floor. I really like the design for this, and of course when I'm working in this area the farm is still going, so that's excellent for the drops. It's very unique. I've not really done anything like this before. You can see I'm using clay. I've not done anything below this layer. I'm just trying to get in the baseline. I think it's such a good building block, clay. The only downside is that Enderman can pick it up, and so we'll no doubt see parts of this building scattered across the world. I'm not looking forward to that, but yeah, I really like this design. It's just this stripped pale oak, cool site, and then diorite as well. Really, really nice. So yeah, I'm just going to keep building this upwards. I think we're going to go 2 more floors above it. Okay, so there's 3 floors on. What I'm going to try now is I'd like some kind of centerpiece on each side. You can see that I've put 2 windows, cave sound, 2 windows, and then 3 windows. I'd like a centerpiece at the top. I'm going to try and play around. I'm also going to try and get some nice details up there using candles. I brought candles as well. I'm going to play around and see how this turns out. And so here we have the building itself. I think it looks really quite good. We of course need to put a roof on it. Subtle bluey grey in the clay. That rhymed. I think it looks very cool. So now it's time to get a roof on it. You can see, if we go up the scaffolding, you can see that I've made full use of the candles and these sort of decorative blocks up here. And then I'm going to start lining the roof, and then we'll have another strip of these decorative blocks. And what's good is it covers the mob farm entirely. So we don't need to worry about anything, you know, poking above. You can see a spider. You don't have to worry about anything poking above. It's quite nice. And it's quite nice seeing a building in this part of the city. And what's even more is coming up this road, you can see exactly the kind of look. Once you've got buildings lining each side, this is going to be such a cool street. So yeah, I'm going to get that roof on it now. This is definitely one of my most favourite buildings I've built in recent times. I really like just how it just looks so clean and modern, yet still very old and quite cool. If we go back into the great green, into the park, I think that looks so cool. That tree's kind of in the way, but I like how it obscures it. We need more buildings either side. We need buildings all the way around here. Not bad for covering a mob farm. Of course, there's nothing in the inside. Let's try and get some floors in. You can see as well, I put this layer of just white down the bottom. I think that looks much better than clay. I tried it with clay. It just didn't really work that well. I'm using pale oak for the floor because I want it to match with the entire building, because I do want to try and make this part of the mob farm. You know, I'd like to be able to maybe even redirect some of the drops up to here. I'm not exactly sure, but I'd like this to be used, not just some empty building that we walk past. I need to get some more pale oak wood, but whilst we're in the city centre, let's put one of you guys on the comment wall from the last video. And the comment is from XO. It's my birthday today, and I couldn't have asked for a better gift. 3 buildings in one video. Thank you so much. As soon as I saw the triangular plot, I immediately thought of the flat iron building. Me too. We're talking about the last video, of course. Thank you very much for that comment. Happy birthday as well. Great minds think alike. The flat iron building, that was definitely a good choice. I think you can barely see it poking out from this side. You can just about see the roof. That's it right there. Thanks very much for that lovely comment. I'm just getting some more leaf litter in this area, just to try and add some more detail. You already know that I absolutely love this block. I've just basically got it wrapping around the entire building. Very nice. Just adds a little bit. And in the meantime, whilst I've been here, this is of course still been running, which is excellent. I'm going to turn it off so you can hear me better, because it's very loud, this farm. But man, it's good. And it makes a lot of XP as well. Oh, look at all that. So, I'm going to get some gunpowder. Let's head back over to where the tunnel bore is, and we'll start basically just dynamiting out the tunnel. Okay, back under here where the tunnel bore is, you can see I did a bit more AFKing. Let's craft this all into TNT. And so that is a stack and 7 for each of the tunnel bore machines. I also spent some time, where is it? Somewhere here. You can see I just made this massive tunnel. This actually connects to the subway station in the harbour. You can see there's even some water as well, so we're going to have to get some sponges down here and really clear up this mess. And this will of course be excavated, tunneled out, and then we'll have a piston bolt heading this direction as well. But you can see this just basically leads, like I said, into the subway station for down here. So let's get these loaded up with TNT. That's not what I wanted to do. Let's get a stack and 7 on each side. And now, back to blowing up. There certainly is something very satisfying about using this machine. Here we go, the last one. And then, yeah, that's the entire, 2 stacks in total of TNT used up? Crazy. We have made major progress. I believe we are currently underneath the park. I'm not exactly sure. So yeah, in the great green, right here, this is basically exactly where we have gotten to at this point. And it's made me realise I would quite like a subway station probably at this side of the great green. Okay, so I've done some thinking, done some planning. I'm basically going to go for creating a subway station right in this space here. So you can see the path deviates and goes these 2 different ways. And I'm basically going to have 2 entrances to the subway station, one being right here, and then one being around this side. You can see I've also got a whole load of resources on me. This is the kind of theme that I'm going for. It looks a bit jumbled up in my inventory, but it should work out quite nice. I'm going to be using a lot of the mangrove wood, which I got from one of these guys, not this guy in particular. So the lower part of this building is going to be made out of mangrove wood. This is going to be like the subway part of the building, and then the upper side is just going to be almost just like a regular building, like a block of flats or something. And then for added detail, on top of the red clay, or red terracotta rather, I'm just going to put in these trapdoors, and we can even double them up for this side since it slopes down. And now we can get tough, and I'm just going to offset that ever so slightly. And there's a reason for that later on, because I'm going to try and put in some curved windows which could be slightly tricky, but I think I know how to do it. And you can see what I mean by our two entrances. You can see there's one on this side right here, and then there's one on that side, just when you come out of the grey green. And now we can get some grey glass, and then this will be sort of behind where the curves for these windows are going to be. I've just noticed this here as well. An Enderman has already started taking blocks from this building, so I've left this clay barrel up here. That's unbelievable. I wonder where that block has went, because it'll be somewhere. It's just not where I want it to be. So let's hope that's only on that first floor. There's nothing else stolen. That's so annoying. But you can see this is turning out quite well. And then I'm now just putting in these mangrove trapdoors, basically in line with these pillars, just on top of this tough strip that I put in. I think it looks quite nice. It sort of ties it all together. And then we're going to transition into oak, basically. So yeah, that's what I was saying about how it's going to be quite an abrupt change. Okay, so now it's time to get in the main part of the building. We're using oak wood. I'm going to strip this as well. And then these wider parts, you can see I'm basically just lining up with the trapdoors. I'm going to try and put in some beehives to line these sides. I'll show you in just a second. Oh, that was close. And then this is where the beehives are going. And then we're just going to put in glass in between these blocks. And that should look quite good. There's so many different oak blocks, you know, that just matches really well together. And so you can see I'm putting in chiseled bookshelves as well, just to try and act as a decorative centerpiece. You can see I've done them on each sort of pillar. And then this is a really nice combination of blocks. These sort of oak colours, I really like that. So yeah, we're going to put this up another couple floors, I think. It's going to rival heights with that roof there. I'm not sure. There we go. You can see just the top of the building poking out from beyond the trees. Let's try and work on a top part for that building. And we're actually going to be using lecterns, which I've never really used for a build. I'm actually inspired by Astef on my Discord. If you're not in the Discord, you should join it, because I've got some big things coming up. But yeah, that's where this sort of top part of the roof, the decorative part of the roof, is inspired by. I've got a sugarcane farm just inside of this wall. You can see it just poking out here. In order to turn it on, we've got to come around this door. And basically, if I could go in the door as well, we press this button, and in fact, part of the wall gets taken by the slime block machine. And this is actually designed by Silent Whisperer. There'll be a link in the description if you want to rebuild it. It's a very good farm. I've got it set up in a bit of a strange way because I have to go all the way around. I'm trying to remember how you even get to it now. You've got to go all the way around outside in order to collect the drops. But that's entirely on me. That is not on the farm of the design. And so you can see some of the sugarcane even gets shot all the way over here. This is where the sugarcane gets collected to. So let's get some, and then we'll turn it into paper, so we can turn it into lecterns. And so this is step one of putting in this decorative sort of piece. It's just slabs and stairs to just sort of create an arch. It's very basic, but this is when it starts to get a bit better, because we're now going to put in some beehives, basically in line with these blocks here, and then basically lecterns on top of every single one of these blocks, and that should be it. I think that will look quite good. Okay, back under here with the tunnel bores. I went AFK for quite a while, as you can see. That's a lot of TNT, so we're going to be running this machine for quite a while. But let's get this thing loaded up, and let's get ready for the last blast in this video. Let's go. And you know, just as ever, there's so much satisfaction using this machine. Again, tutorial is down in the description. Please give it a watch. This is a very cheap, very easy tunnel bore, and it works a charm. Take a look at this. Using the tunnel bore, I've just discovered a cave, loads of mushrooms, and there's already a lantern up there. Probably a case of us being underneath a road? I'm not sure. Maybe we're underneath the park still. I'm not exactly 100% where we are, but we've still got around 15, oh, spot on, 15 TNT. Let's keep going. What? The tunnel bore just got stuck in the roof and blew itself up. I think I just managed to record that. There's only like on the second last one as well. Okay, I think I've fixed it. Let's test it and hope so. Oh, there we go. Look at me. Oh, redstone genius. That's all the TNT, by the way. That's it, completely done. Let's see whereabouts we've been brought up. Where are we? Perfect, right underneath the subway station. This is exactly where I wanted to be. And so now we've got a direct tunnel leading from the central subway station to our first subway station in the West End, which is probably going to be the Great Green Station. That's fantastic. And the fact that we're right next to the mob farm as well, and it's still going, unbelievable. Other than that little mishap that we had just there, which I think was just down to my game lagging, this has been a pretty good success. So thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Sorry for the delay. There was a massive week-long problem with me trying to get onto the world. If you're in the Discord, you know all about it. Thank you very much, everyone. I'll see you in the next one. Join the Discord.